Good evening and welcome to the eMpTy podcast. My name is The Citrus, and to my left you have
Rain Bomber Clark Nelson.
And beside Rain you have
Mr. Wileycat DJ.
And more energy than that next to him you have
We have Sirelli, ever so slightly broken.
And opposite on my right you have
Buddy in the building, aka The Truth.
And my name is The Citrus. Yaga yo 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 yo. It's The Citrus in the house and we're running the show. This week's podcast is full of fire. Okay, gents. Just by asking certain questions, I'm getting essays, responses. Do you know when on a WhatsApp I put it on my status and someone sent me a message and you know it says read more because there's so much text on the thing. All right, so this week's podcast is based on single mothers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are you at fault?
Wow, I didn't know this was the podcast, but okay, say.
Bro.
All right, so what it comes down to is...
At fault at what, bro?
At fault, bruv. Just are you at fault?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to expand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to go to the toilet.
In whatever directions that you guys feel comfortable with. However, this is how far I took it this week, was I pulled together a survey.
Yep.
10 questions. Thank you very much, gents, for sharing those questions out. On those 10 questions, we got 47 responses.
Mazza.
So it's now much bigger than what I initially anticipated.
Rummy's
I was going to say initially, but no, what I initially anticipated, I thought it was going to get 10, 15, and then be cool. But yeah, we got 47.
Right.
So I had to do a bandulu with Survey Monkey, which is a bump, don't use it, to try and get the all of the survey info in. So I'm just going to paint a picture and you let me know what you guys think. Okay, so for those that are listening in, those that are on the Instagram, those that are on YouTube, good evening and welcome. And we're going to go in. So it takes two to tango.
Yep.
And anything from I've met my soulmate to a one-night stand could result in a little pitter-patter of tiny feet. Yeah?
Yep.
Now, depend on the situation of what and how it occurred, the reaction from mum or mum to be, and the reaction from dad or dad to be varies. As we know, there's a whole spectrum. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to ask you guys to explain what your reaction was like when you found out you were going to be parents or grandparents. However, what I'd like us to do is dissect all of the steps through parenthood, focusing on single mums, but also focusing on single parents and focusing on parenting. Yeah, so there's several different scopes that when I looked through the whole problem, the whole issue, it was like, yo, let me paint this picture. Do you know when you think to yourself, she's a single mum, dad's a deadbeat? Everyone's really willing to accept this as a complete narrative. And no one necessarily asks for the reasons why. Just like, sorry about that. I hope you're okay. Do you get what I mean? If I can help you, I will. Interestingly, half of the children in single households are represented by being poor. So half of all of children, this is in the UK, half of all of children who are in single parent households are represented at being poor. So this is huge, as you can imagine. And a third of those born in the inner city, so a third of those born within the inner city are raised by a single parent.
A third?
A third.
Oh.
So every 3 children born, that child will be represented by a single parent in one situation or another between the ages of 1 or 0 up to the age of 18. So just to give you guys a bit of scope, sorry, and this is from theguardian.com, 2021. Right, so just to give you guys a bit of scope, it's not a small issue, right? We're either results of being a single parent, or we know people who are in our immediate circle who are single parents or live in a single parent situation. So just on the surface of it all, what are your thoughts on single parents and single parenthood? I'm going to start with Ray.
You know what? It's just as you're saying, I've never thought about it like this before, but you say single parents, and that single parents, you're simply meaning that the child is born and the parents have separated. Because is that a true definition or is that a right definition? Because what if I have a child A,
Yeah.
I separate from the mum,
Yeah.
but I'm in a relationship and she's in a relationship.
Yeah.
So,
But that child is in a single parent household, and the mum has a partner or the dad has a partner. So now that child would have either a stepdad or a stepmom.
yeah, but then,
However, but being born with both biological parents in the
Right.
same household, by definition, it's less. It's less than half.
well, look, to answer the question, it's hard for me to kind of talk from experience because I haven't experienced that. You know what I mean? Not obviously, but growing up, parents together and whatnot. I hear a lot of my friends, or a few, not a lot. That's an exaggeration. They are single parents, and when I say single parents, dad is single, looking after little man or little girl, and mum might be doing the same thing as well. So I'll be interested to see what others think about it before I can kind of commit a comment.
Hand it over.
Buddy.
Cool.
Who's thrown at me? No, throw the question. It's fine.
So, what's your views on single parent households?
The struggle. I don't want to turn it to like a thing, but like
Talk your truth, my bro.
I grew up in a single parent household, and I think shouts out to my mum. I think at this point it's like you kind of realise how as an adult you kind of realise how much she did and how much work that she actually put into it. Now that I'm older, when I'm younger, I'm thinking your mum, dad's wherever dad is. It's life, innit? Because obviously you're growing up into that household, and then you probably turn up to a rains yard, and then you kind of think to yourself, "Wow, mum and dad, wow, this is."
Because in that household you don't know any different. Because mum's doing what
Everything.
you expect
Mum's
my parent to do.
Yeah, this is
Didn't
what happens.
realise two people should be doing the job.
role.
Okay.
So when you're now living in certain places, or you're living like, so for example, I started off in a council flat, and mum then found her way, whatever way it was, and again as a child, you don't realise yourself. She's working damn hard to then turn and she bought a house. As far as I'm concerned, I just moved. Right.
And what age were you when this happened?
Oof. By this point, mum had, to be fair, mum had my sister, my two sisters. So at this point, she's got 3 children.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Fire away.
How old was mum roughly at this time?
Mum's would have been in her mid-30s. And you know what the funniest thing is? Even when you say that, it kind of makes me think to myself, rah, she achieved a lot more than I even thought that she even achieved. Even now, sitting there just talking about it, I'm like, rah, you was in your mid-30s and you had 3 children, you now bought a house. She went on to buy whatever she bought after that. And I won't expose my mother's business, but it's like the amount that she actually achieved after that for a single parent is amazing. As a child, looking on at it, I'm like, so what? You're my mum. Like my dad, and I have an amazing relationship with my dad. Like he is like one of my best friends. I'm close with my dad, and it's like I look back and my dad used to kind of come around. He'll probably buy me a computer game or he'll buy me a new console. Like, and I always used to love him for that. My mum would probably, Christmas comes, she'd buy me a pair of socks or a cardigan.
Because mum just
She fed
doesn't
you.
even get in it.
Bro, I want to
get
dash it. How is that, mum?
This is shit.
Like,
Fair
dad,
enough.
this is why I love my dad. Like, you know
okay.
what I mean? You giving me this crap is rubbish. Again, as an adult now, I'm like, right, I needed them socks. I needed them boxers. I needed that cardigan. I needed all them
New pajamas.
New pajamas.
Well, then there's the bigger thinking as well that your mum, obviously there's time you spent with your dad, but she fed you, took you to school, paid for it. Well, again, I don't know what the setup was. 'cause
Yeah, again, I didn't care
But
about
Rain, bud,
that. Like,
same. Do you know what? I'm not even going to tell my parenting story, but I grew up in a very similar household. I don't care about that. What do you mean I'm getting corned beef and rice? This is boring. Do you know what I mean? My brethren get to eat Chinese and pizza.
I like corn.
Do you know what I mean? It's boring. I don't like it.
I can't afford it.
But it was it was every day. It was consistent. Do you get what? Obviously, we never had the same meal every day, but it was every day. It was consistent. She did all of these things that were actually invisible to me at the time. Because you never bought me the bike I wanted. You never got me the computer game. I had to buy my own console. Do you know what I mean? So it was just like, Mum, you're actually quite shit at this. Do you get what I mean? Because my other brethren had, like I had, do you remember the Lego with the green mat? And you just got the Lego and just stuck the things on the
The one
green
that
mat.
you stole from school.
I mean, you did, but I mean, I did. We did. But so I had that. My brethren's Lego had a remote control and and these Legos doing all sorts.
Oh, Lego
I'm
technique.
looking at my mum like, this is the level. You're giving me the green mat thing. It don't make no sense. So you're not good at this, mum. Do you get what I mean? And growing up, I resented my mum for so many things, just not really understanding any of the levels.
But that, yeah, and as a child, you would, and I understand as a child why you would, because you don't have the worldly knowledge or the emotional intelligence to understand
Respect.
what the world is or what it is like.
What she's going through.
It's not even about that. She wouldn't show you what she's going through, but she's buying your school uniform. She's buying your trainers. You played football. She's buying your football boots. Doing your birthday parties. You know what I mean? There's lots more behind the scenes. I just come back to it of she fed you every day.
Yeah.
She probably paid for school dinners. You know what I mean? Or packed lunch or whatever it was. Holiday club. Like, it's now me being a parent. I understand.
Seeing the price of all of these things.
Holiday
And
club.
you're like, yo. But anyway, before we even get down that route, sorry, really. Wiley, single parent. Talk to
I
me.
come from a different angle. So I grew up in a 2-parent household, but I am in a family where my partner and my stepson. So it was a single parent. By definition of, I say single parent by definition of what you've said. However, it wasn't single parent because it was not even that. He was co-parented by his dad. So it was never that he had. I think it's a bit of a grey area. Single parent I'm looking at is where it's only one parent.
That's what I'm saying.
Doing everything.
No, I disagree. I get
No, but
the angle.
I'm giving you my definition.
Yeah.
So single parent for me is where it's a single parent all the way. The difference I saw was you can be a single parent but still have a very good relationship with the other parent and co-parent. And I think that's what I take from it. There's a difference in single parent, in somebody just raising a child by themselves, like you said, the mother doing everything and having no support system. And there's a difference in if the child is not right or is naughty or whatever, it's not like, oh, wait till you see your dad, or wait till your dad see your dad in 3 weeks. Then pick up the phone, talk to your dad, and the parenting is there. So it's an interesting thing to look at.
It's like a different.
It's
as
a
you said,
different dynamic.
A different dynamic.
And I
Thank
think
you.
that's what
Thank
I'm seeing a lot more of that in the new age. That there's a lot more co-parenting than what we used to see of people didn't see their parent. Like we was talking about something we saw earlier on today about how they was with one parent and then they were shipped out to another parent. That you don't see a lot of in 2023. What you see a lot of is co-parenting. And that co-parenting, it depends how that works, whether or not you're going to see single parents or one parent just having the whole parenting aspect of it. But yeah, that's what I think of it, really.
Really?
Truthfully. Two different things.
All right. So for me, my first time, so I grew up in a 2-parent household, grandma and granddad, grew up with my grandparents. But where it became something that I actually identified with, or not necessarily identified with, but something that came to my knowledge that it was a big issue was when I had my own kids and we went to parents' evening. And when you go into parents' evening, my son actually said something to me. It was, I don't know, I can't remember how it came around. And if he's watching this, he'll be like, Dad, you can't remember nothing. But we were talking and he was like, yeah, when we go to parents' evening, both you and mum come to the parents' evening. And I remember the teacher making a point of saying, thank you very much for coming. What do you mean? And then she was like, oh, well, it's very rare that both parents, and she didn't even look at it from, and I'm not looking at it from a if we're together or not together kind of aspect. It was, it's very rare that both parents come to an event like this. And then that started me for the rest of the parents' evening because I started to now observe around me that, oh yeah, it's, this kid's with his mum, that kid's with his mum, that kid's with his mum. And there was very little presence of the dad. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they, from a single parent household, it was just the visual impact that something as important as this, and there's only one parent there. And for me, it was second nature. Yeah, parents' evenings on that day, work's cancelled, whatever appointments I've got, we'll be delayed, postponed, or whatever the case may be, and I turn up to parents' evening. So for me, that was probably the first point of me as an adult realizing how much of a difference there is for certain people that I just took for granted. I just took that this was standard life.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't mention. Growing up, it definitely felt within our community, I was the minority of having both parents. I say everyone, I'd probably say about 60 to 70% of my friends will talk about, oh, they're going to go and see their dad and dad's going to get them this, that and the other and go shopping with their dad. That was reality of life. I didn't really understand it because I didn't know anything other than having both my parents there. But it definitely was a major factor growing up that I felt like the minority, which was sort of straight, which when you look at it, is weird. Why should I feel like the minority with both parents there? But that's how it was growing up.
All right, fair enough. So, out of all single parents, 92% are mums. Does this ring true?
Do you mean as in have the child with them?
Yes.
Okay.
See, the thing is, right, it's weird because...
Guardian.com, 2000. No, it's 21.
No, but it's going to be a fact. But the thing is, mothers are usually trying to say, it's my kid. So if a relationship breaks down, all right, you're going to have the incident or the instance where it's going to be, they're going to say, well, I'm taking the kid. Whether they're in a financial position to do so, whether they've got the house, whatever, they're taking the kid. All right, that's a fact. And then the government backs that. Or has been back.
That's untrue.
Explain
That's
what you mean by that.
The law changed.
That's untrue.
I did say, if you listen back, it had been backing that. All right, so...
Sorry, because when you're saying that, what do you mean by the government backing that?
So basically, if you went to court, they're giving the child to the mum gets the child. This is how it's always been.
Parental rights lean
towards the mother.
Because
always.
She carried the baby, she gave birth, and yada, yada, yada.
Whatever the reasons are.
But the law has now changed.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to illustrate
that's
or
correct.
emphasize Buddy's point.
If I'm being honest, I don't think it was just to do with that. I think it was because at that time, it was probably common for when the relationship fell apart, the husband or the male
left
the situation. So when that happens, it automatically comes to...
But the law, but the point is, the law supported that.
It supported that.
So if like two parents have an argument, it was expected for the father to leave.
Yeah.
Dad's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mum's kept the house because mum's got the kids. Dad's gone renting a room by his bedroom. Do you know what I mean? That was the standard. Do you know what I mean? And if mum left, people would be like, what do you mean your mum left? That doesn't make sense. Who's going to sew your button on your shirt? Do you get what I mean? So
the very rare occasion that you saw dad and no mum, I'm
thinking your mum's dead.
Bruv, that's
your
the
mum
only
must
way
be
that
dead.
makes sense.
If I only saw your dad and you ain't got no mum, she must be dead.
To be honest, it's either she's dead or she's just absolute.
No, there was no grey area. Right, so where's your mum? I live with my dad. Right, your mum must be dead. Or she's in jail.
That
was it.
It sounds funny.
No, but it's true. Right, sorry. So as you know, gents, I conducted a survey, and thank you to everyone that completed the survey, all the 47 women that answered, even though some of them answered the first question, read question number 2, and skipped through the whole survey. Because...
Why?
You're just too damn nosy. But all right, then, organised crime. And...
or sometimes facing the truth can be hard, you know?
Yeah. And some of the questions are quite deep. And they do ask, they do target the soul.
Yeah, and let me not use the word truth. Sometimes the reality of what's going on that you're facing with.
Okay, so the first question in the survey, gents, was, and Bud, anytime you want to jump with the comments, please let me know, okay, King?
I'm just going to give a few in a bit.
So the first question in the survey was just to try and understand numbers-wise. So out of 47 people, the first question was, how many children do you have? 17% had one. Sorry, 36% had one. 17 people answered that. 34% had 2. 19% had 3. 6% had 4. And 4% had 5 or more. Okay, this is just to give you scope.
Okay.
So question number 2 was, based on these numbers, how many of the children were the same father? What do you guys think?
Nobody answered.
No? 5 people skipped it.
5.
Because it's
Percentage-wise, what do you think?
The answer that said they were.
The answer that said that they had all their children with the same partner.
22%.
I'd say about
they had all of
35%.
them. They had all of them. The same
I'd say
partner.
about 35%.
35,
I'd say less than 10%.
less than 10,
I say 22.
Oh, that was
22.
my number. I'm gonna have to change mine to 15%.
You said you what? You said you was going to say 22%.
Yeah,
Out of all the numbers,
I- I-
he wants to be. He wants to be me.
I can't say 25.
So just to be
I'll go
clear,
50.
Yeah.
out of the 42 people that answered, you think that 22% have all of their children with the same man. Is that correct?
yeah, I said 10%. Yeah,
You said 10,
35.
35. 74% have all their children with the same partner.
Okay.
But you have to remember, a high percentage of that is by the one, isn't it?
Mhm.
So that will skew your numbers
Yeah.
immediately. But those with 2 or more, we're just going to clump them together.
Mhm.
So 74% have their children with the same father, and 26% have their children with multiple fathers. Okay? Question number 3. And this is where it starts to get a little bit more technical. So when we ask single mothers, is it your fault? I asked about the cause of the breakup. Now, I want you all individually to think of a reason why single parent households break up. And then I'm going to read out the stat. I'm going to start with Buddy, and then Rain, Wiley, and Relly.
Cheating.
Cheating?
lack of involvement.
Lack of involvement. Interesting.
Money.
Money?
Difference of opinions.
Difference of opinions. What's very interesting about all of your responses is within the survey, because some of it was more detailed answers rather than straight stats, everything you mentioned came up. Yeah. Now, for us to go through it in detail, we'd need to split this over maybe a 5-hour podcast, you know what I mean? Series 1, 2, and 3, or episodes 1, 2, and 3, I mean. But just to help you out, the question was, who caused the breakup? 15% of the women that answered the question said they caused the breakup.
No way.
No, but again, if they causing the breakup could be that the person's done something wrong, so they've then said we're breaking up.
No way.
Exactly right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
By saying causing the breakup, not.
Yeah,
not,
they caused the breakup because let's just say that they're in a relationship. The partner came in, ate all the spaghetti bolognese, and there was none for the picnic and her. She says, "You're greedy. We're breaking up." She caused the breakup. He was the catalyst, but she said we're breaking up.
I don't see it that way.
It gets deeper than that.
Okay.
He busted her face open.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Happened time after time after time. She's done.
I'm done with you. Yeah,
I'm gone.
still spaghetti, but yeah.
Did
you know what I
she
mean?
cause the breakup?
Well,
No,
as you
he's
said,
the catalyst.
She's the catalyst. That's what I'm saying.
But she didn't cause it because she
Because she said it.
No, because there are situations where that happens and they stay together. So
Thank you.
if she then says, "I'm out of this, Shegri," she caused the breakup. It's not a negative. We're seeing the word cause the
Cause
breakup
as is
as a negative. It's not a negative.
To fast forward through your podcast, so I do apologize.
you.
I disagree with that,
Alright.
by the way, but
No,
carry on.
but then should she have stayed for the sake of the kid? For the sake of being a statistic?
I'm going to jump in there, bud. So when we talk about cause, there's so many different ways of looking at it. So he could have done 100% BS, right? Taken her and treated her like a slave. Do you get what I mean? And one day, the light switched. And she just turned around and said, "You know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm leaving."
Listen to Summer Walker
So
or something
his
like that.
actions caused it, but she put a stop to the
She-
relationship
yeah.
and said, "We're gone."
And it's
So
not a negative.
we're going to have to accept that because the question is so vast,
Right, okay.
we're just going to have to accept our numbers, right? So 52% said it was because of the guy.
Okay, and that's but
Not
that's
accepting responsibilities. But anyway, carry on.
or the mum did something that he didn't like. So he said, "I'm not into this no more."
13% said it was, 32% said it was mutual.
Okay, yeah, and I get
Now
that. as well.
that is a number that shocked me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I didn't think.
Because that means amicable, isn't it? That means
we're done. We're done. High five.
Yeah.
Take your shit.
I'll see you on Thursday, yeah? And then you pop out the door.
But you're saying this shake. What did you say? What words you used? You said you were surprised by it.
I was surprised. Yeah.
But that means you're saying that you expected it to be arms house.
Not necessarily. It's just to say, do you know what? I want out of this. I want out of this. All right, we are out of this. We're out. I'll see you later. Now, this is a third. Do you get what I mean?
Because that means nobody was fighting for the relationship. Nobody was fighting for the family. And that's the bit that makes me uncomfortable. So, wait. Hear me out for a second. So, to say in an argument, it takes two people in it. But normally, at one point of the argument...
Sorry, my first statement, it takes two to tango. So, Sirelli.
So, both of you are in this point where the two of you are going at it. Now, at some point, we hope that one of you will start to calm down a bit and then realize that this is not conducive. This is not resolving anything. And then you get to the point where you start to kind of rationalize things and say, you know what, I'm going to take this one on the chin or whatever the case may be. But if you get to the point where both of you neither one of you are seeing that kind of, all right, look, maybe we need to revisit this, and you're letting your emotions take control of the decisions that you're going to make. To me, that just, it seems wrong, because like you never got to the point of, all right, I might have been right.
So what, you're saying the decision shouldn't be made on emotion?
No, I don't think you should ever make a decision on emotion. You should wait till you calm down.
That's madness.
Nah, bruv, I'm not on that.
You have to have a
Wait,
On a heightened state of emotion, no.
You have to have a mix of both. Ultimately,
I personally do not make decisions. Sorry to cut you, Ray. I do not make decisions on a heightened state of emotion, because I know at that time, cloud of ignorance is over my head. I'm not necessarily seeing everything clearly.
So that means you never follow your heart.
Of course, I follow my heart. I just don't make that decision at that moment.
Okay. So
Whoa. Let's stop the kumbaya F-freeze. If I'm with you right now and we're having a disagreement and I am mad and you disrespected me, innit?
Yeah.
I gave you money for a pair of crepes. I saw you with the crepes in Instagram photo at a rave, whatever the case may be. I've come to you and I'm like, yeah, you got my crepes. And you're like, nah, they ain't coming yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I've given you money. It's been 6 months, brother.
Yeah.
And you're just laying me off. I approach you again. Look, bruv, come on. And then you get them when you get them, and you walk away. I'm now at that point where I'm now emotional. I'm trying to, now in my head, I want to take the crepes off your foot and take my money and go, or whatever the case may be. But if I'm at that point where I'm now thinking irrational thoughts, it's not in my favor to act on them there and then.
So you're saying I could do that and it would take 6 months?
No.
Don't work on the 6 months.
Yeah. Don't throw
go with what he's going with, innit?
I'm coming to your yard before then, but I know where you live, blood. Nah, but what I'm saying is, if you let that drive you, and if I'm being honest with you, I think that's probably the biggest problem with society at the moment, that people let the heightened emotional state drive their decision making.
Right. So what's interesting is I actually come on to that point, and it's very interesting about making decisions in the height of emotion. Okay, so we're going to visit that a little bit further down. Sorry, Bud, I know you wanted to jump in.
No, I mean, there's a few things I wanted to say. One is I need to read some of the comments in a bit, because I've said to them I will read in the next break. When you're saying that, I mean, I have to comment on what you said. I've already said before that I try my best not to act on emotion. Don't act like, if you do me something now, I try my best to say, you know what, I will shut my mouth now.
Look at Wally's face.
Yeah. I like, just call him a liar, innit? Just say it, bro.
No, he can say what he wants to say. But talk, innit? I will try my best.
Acts on emotion. Let's not lie.
The most emotional person we know in it.
Just raise your hand if you agree.
No, probably.
I don't even agree.
I'll agree with myself.
I'll probably am.
But I will be the one person that turns and says to myself, and probably you two probably know better, but I will try and walk away from the situation and say, give me 10 minutes, let me work this out. I might even talk to you for a week. So let me not talk to Wiley just now.
You'll time it.
To the day and second, a minute, an hour.
I might say it's going to be exactly a certain amount of time. So I know to myself, I'm calm enough to say what I want to say. And I will relax and I'll say what I need to say. But I don't act on emotion. So when you were saying it, I'm thinking, do people act on emotion? Yeah, they do act on emotion. Sometimes you do, and then you have that moment to calm down and realize what you're saying, and then come back to the situation.
Buddy, to bring it back to the point now we're talking about, beating kids. Do you know how much parents beat their kids when the kids have done something and they are vexed and they're shouting at this child, or they're punishing this child, or they're beating this child at their heightened state of emotion? It happens.
They probably deserve the beating, though. innit?
See, this is somebody who does it.
I'm gonna come back to this. So I know Buddy's got a couple.
Let me just go through some of the
comments
comments. I
to
don't
read
wanna-
out, but just get them ready. So one of the bits that we're going to discuss next is actually the relationship breakdown, and obviously we titled the podcast "Single Mums, Are You at Fault?"
Yeah.
And the reason why I use this title, it's not necessarily for us to sit here and bash women, because that's easy, and we don't necessarily have a single mum here to represent and defend the point. Obviously, Buddy's going to read out the comments, but I think, especially from a father's point of view, we can always attribute blame to the mum. But I think if we now look through the process that I've gone through and start really targeting and focusing certain questions, we'll be able to really unearth some truths. Not the whole truth. We're not trying to correct the world, but some truths from at least the MT Podcast's thought process. Buddy.
Okay, let's maybe move away. Let me just go back to. I don't know if everyone wants their names being read, so I'll read
Just read
some
the
of
comments
them.
and we'll comment.
Just the
I'll read the
comments.
comments. All right, cool. No worries. Some women don't have a choice to be a single parent. That was said earlier on.
It goes down to your stats, actually.
Someone also said on there just a little bit earlier, and I've just lost it now. Not every dad wants to be involved, which was another comment that was also said on there. Someone also said, exactly, some dads believe their baby mums slept with Boris, so their baby mums should just get a AFI help from government instead of actual dad help. That was also
I'm
said.
assuming they're referring to financial in that instant.
Yeah,
Probably.
And the government.
yeah.
Which gives some men a way out.
My definition of a single parent, being a single parent household, now single mother or father, I should say, is no co-parenting at all with absent parents of the child and children.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
my thoughts.
No, that's a good one.
Someone else also said, so you can be a single parent and have healthy co-parent dynamic. If the highest percentage had only one child, a higher majority will have one baby daddy. Was also said. I think of these to be a fair discussion. Women should have been involved in these discussions. So they're now saying that women have.
They are.
It's a fair point.
Women are there, so the live is for.
We will prioritise the women today.
The interaction. So and Buddy's job is to make sure that any comments which are made by females or anyone who objects are brought up. So it's all on Buddy to make sure that
So
you.
he's identifying as a woman today for us.
Baby Dad Buddy. Baby Dad Buddy's going to make sure.
I myself. But one of the other comments was women leave women leave mentally before physically. They end up putting up with a lot. And then it goes on to say mentally. And someone said obviously this topic should be revisited. On the point that was the last point I just made, that was shared with us. Yeah, women do leave mentally before they leave.
beforehand.
Yeah, beforehand. And
What makes you say that?
No, but the thing is,
They check out, innit?
they check out. And what I would say is, as men, or I will say from my point of view, before I speak for men as a whole, we don't realise this. A lot of us don't.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
No, I'll speak for myself. If you don't want to be honest, then don't be honest. It's fine. All right, AKA the truth. I'll roll with that. All right. But we don't. No,
My man's selling merchandise.
Yeah. Wait. Have you ever been in a relationship where a woman checked out and you didn't know she checked out?
We wouldn't know.
No, but
there you go.
because women
We're in mumble carts on my thing, so it's fine.
women are very transparent in that. So depending on the relationship you had with that woman, there will be hints.
And they will tell. No, they will tell you.
They will tell you, bro. There will be things that
They'll
you
never
see.
tell you, oh, by the way, I checked out.
No.
Wait, sorry to jump in. I get what you're saying, but I do cipher more with Buddy. Like it's a gradual step down. It's not. Do you remember that song, Karen Wheeler, Superwoman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she talks about the man saying, "Oh, the orange juice used to be so sweet, but
But
it's
it's
sour
not-
now.
yeah.
So that's him checking out. So he's checking. Like women,
So it happens.
yeah, but what it is, sometimes the heightness, like you might be with a woman and she's checked out. She might still buy your birthday present. She
Come
might
on,
still buy
Rain
you.
Man.
Rain.
She might still buy your thing on Valentine's Day, but
But
comments-
orange juice is not that sweet no more.
the comments, like when you say to her, "Oh, you look nice today," in there, out there,
Yeah.
she doesn't care.
But you can tell these things.
No.
You know what it is? As much as I'd love to say that my emotional intelligence scale is up there and I'm able to read people, I don't think I would be able to read everything. So
And sorry. I need to
So, gents,
respond to him.
gents,
Wait, one second. So I agree that you will not be able to pick up absolutely everything. You're not Columbo. However, when things start to go wrong and they start to not pay attention or not to give you the time that they did or start to focus on something else, you can tell. It's up to you to acknowledge it, identify it, and then move forward with it, or to just accept it and say she's okay. There are a lot of people in relationships who get complacent, and I may be one of them as well, where she drops subtle hints. There's things she don't do no more, or that little love language that you lot had where you sit down and she puts her hand on your thigh or whatever the case may be, doesn't happen no more. It's for you to actually identify and see that, because you were there at the start of the relationship. You were there as the relationship was going on. So it's for you to say and pay enough attention to say, actually, things have changed.
Who do you think is more likely to say the relationship is breaking down blatantly? And I don't mean like to say,
Sorry.
Go on.
This is my next question.
all right, go on then.
Go on.
So, question 4 on the survey
Okay.
is: in less than 25 words, why did the relationship breakdown happen? Some people don't understand less than 25 words. However, I'm just going to say only women answered, but let's not point fingers. I'm just going to read some of them out, yeah?
Okay, go for it.
He was a narcissist. I only found out I was pregnant after the split. We wanted different things: lack of support and financial strains. He has mental health, and I can't handle him and his kids.
We all have mental
their
health. I
kids.
hate that term.
Domestic abuse.
Okay.
We grew apart or argued too much. We met very young, so developed into two different people and needs, wishes, tolerances changed, and additional very dominant mother-in-law. Lack of support, cheating, financial and emotional control. Didn't help with daughter as there was no point until she's talking. He broke up with me because I was pregnant. I couldn't keep my legs closed. Bruh.
Honesty.
That was a response.
Yeah.
Oh, shout to that person.
Mental
honestly.
abuse and wanted better for my child. We fell out of love. Lack of trust, respect, and loyalty and unfaithfulness. And he lived like a singleton. Extramarital affairs. He cheated while I was pregnant.
Martin.
First one left and went back to his first baby mama. Second one cheated twice that I know of and has 2 babies, and 2 babies were produced. I couldn't juggle being a mum, a girlfriend, and trying to be a boss in my business at the same time. Also suffered mental health. Narcissist, serial cheater, abusive. Now, as I said, there's lots. One says none of your business. I will accept that.
Safe.
One says I was no longer happy. He left because he wasn't committed and didn't want a family. He wasn't ready to accept responsibility. He was abusive, and his abuse started to affect my child, so I left him.
Definitely should.
Not proper, honest communication, nor expectations or boundaries set. So when we look at why did relationships break down, as you can see, there's a varied response. Now, one that I didn't read, which is one I wanted to discuss, is the response was actually sent to me directly, and it said, he didn't pay attention to the child because I stopped sleeping with him.
There's so much in that. There is so much in that.
It's so heavy, innit?
Do you know what? Do you know what? It's heavy, but it's not heavy. You know why? Because I'm not going to say I haven't heard this before. Like, it's not the first time I've heard this rodeo. Like, it's like some men are in it and they have a child with a woman. They're sleeping with a woman, whether it be a link, whether it be their girlfriend, whatever. All right, they get into a relationship or have this situationship with a woman. They end up having a child. All right. Now, as far as they're concerned, they're saying it as we're still in this situationship. You're still my link. You're not my girl, innit? So I'm still doing what I'm doing. You just now got a child. Now, the moment you now close your legs and say you're not giving me no oomph, then all of a sudden they're like, well, why am I here?
But he's the father of the child.
They don't see that, and especially, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to be.
No, be straight, because
No,
what it is, we need to what it is, and you have to remember, there's some people watching, male and female, and some single mums are watching, and they're gonna turn around and say, "But I don't understand."
Yep, straight up.
Now, the clarity part in my head is turning around and saying this: we were linking. It was Thursday. I'm free. You're free. Link up. I'm bringing around Chinese and a quarter of Ray and Nephew. Only a quarter. I don't need no more than that. Too much.
The one that fits in your back pocket.
Yeah, too much. She'll pass out. I don't need that. I just gonna go for the quarter. I come round. You eat your food. Play to music. Catch to joke. 7 seconds later, temperatures rising. You know, the best of Ray Nelson 2020.
The Bumbleclot rhythms.
On tape.
Baby Bacon edition on tape.
CDK
60. Maybe a 90 minutes.
90.
Because you need a little lead up time before you get to the bedroom.
Warm up.
Ray was moving quick. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, whichever way it is, this was our arrangement.
So let's talk the
respect to what
talk.
Buddy's saying. This was our arrangement. All of a sudden,
You've now given me responsibilities.
From my point of view, as a
I'm
man,
not interested in your responsibilities.
from my what do you mean you're not on the pill? What do you mean
Your patch ain't working.
your implant don't work? What do you mean you took tablets with your contraception now? The cervix is on rhythm. Do you know what I mean? What do you mean? None of this makes sense to me.
That wasn't
because
in the role I applied for.
we didn't have this arrangement at the beginning. Now you're telling me you're pregnant. I don't want no you. I'm having it anyway. Now, what I signed up for, the job description and the job role is different. So now expecting me to play the role that you have now assigned to me
It's not.
doesn't fit in with the role I applied for.
So even
So you know what?
Expecting me to just conform.
Ain't happening.
Certain man will, certain man won't.
and not to take the podcast onto another scale, but this isn't a man's choice. So whereas the woman could turn and say, no, when the woman could turn and say,
Russ!
when the woman could turn and say, I'm gonna
AKA
get
the
rid.
truth.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid, all right? And we're like, but I wanna have a baby with you, all right? And you go, oh, I'm getting rid because it's my choice, my body, all right? It's the same now, reverse now, where they're turning and saying, well, I'm having this baby. Well, you just link. I don't want a baby.
So
I haven't got the choice.
we're kind of digressing off the straight and narrow path that we're going on. But before we go back onto it, first of all, totally agree with you. There are women, there are people, because I think men to a certain extent
Men as
can
well.
do it,
Yeah.
where they see someone, the person makes it very clear that this is the direction they want. However, they believe they can change that person's point of view. They can change that person's narrative, they can change the situation, and that person will eventually fall in love or will eventually conform to what I want them to do. So that's one major error that I think most people fall down. They just kind of get down this path. And some people look at it also as a way of trapping people. I mean, it wasn't too long ago where if you had a child, you got a council flat.
Still happens now, doesn't it?
Nah, blood. Council clocked onto that. They're like, nah.
Nah.
Don't go and breed up.
No, the council are on what? You're pregnant? Yeah, let your youth sleep in the kitchen. You know, they're just...
Yeah, council.
The council don't care no more.
Wherever you got burst and got breeded, go back there.
Go back there.
Yeah,
Your youth's allowed to sleep in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a problem.
breeded.
No, but
It's
the
not a
reason...
problem.
No,
You say
but
that, but there are still...
we're talking the talk, aren't we, Ray?
No, but you're talking the talk, but there are still... We're saying that, but it's not so harsh, bruv. Let's just be real. We're not at that stage yet.
but-
it's
but-
more
wait,
difficult.
so-
it is
but-
more difficult, but it can still happen.
What are we
just be
talking
very
about?
honest.
Outside of London, maybe. Where?
As in getting the
Wherever
flat.
you want to send
Yeah,
it, they
getting
get their flat. Whether it be outside of London or inside London, they will still get their flat.
Yeah, look,
so let's
12
say
and a half
it's
years
that
later.
bad.
No.
No.
There is a process.
The reality, this is a reality. My next door neighbor, she has a child. He's 9. They live in a 1-bedroom flat. She no longer has a living room because her bed is in the living room to give him her bedroom. her kitchen backs into her bedroom now, which is the living room. So when someone comes round, they have to sit down
On her bed.
on her bed.
Mad thing.
The gas man is putting his tools on her bed because
service
there's
the boiler.
no space to...
Over enough people's heads.
Some rubbish.
But you lot are just dragging me down the rabbit hole. But what I'm turning around and saying is that especially in inner London, that's what we can talk about. That's what we've experienced. In inner London, if you turn around and walk to the council and say, "But I'm pregnant," they'll be like, "Ah, then cool."
Give me a high five.
When your kid's 11, let's talk.
See, I didn't think it was that, and maybe people that are on the live can give us some clarity. I thought it was you're pregnant, you haven't got nowhere to stay, so what happens is they put you into a hostel or a mothers and baby unit or whatever it is. You're in there for a period of time.
But you've just said they've got nowhere to stay. So the question really is, where were you staying before you got pregnant?
Yeah.
And if the answer is, I was at my mum's and blah, 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 they have to go with, well, before, you had to go with a letter or some documentation to turn around and say, my mum's kicked me out.
Yeah, but
Or when you go to the housing office, bro, you will see there are people sitting there with
Bags of
black
clothes.
bags, suitcase,
So you gotta do all
a
that.
trunk. Do you know what I mean? The flipping hot. Yeah, I ain't got no. I'm just gonna stay here until you find me somewhere to go. Do you know what I mean? Now, the where the housing market, especially in central London, where the housing market is crazy. And to turn around and say there are women that are saying, do you know what? I'm in a council flat. I'm gonna have a baby. I'm not sure if that narrative sticks the same today that it was.
But it was definitely
15,
a thing
20 years ago.
15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. It was definitely a thing.
If you want to move out of your mum's yard,
How about you?
have a
all right, back to the topic then. 'Cause
I'll tell you what is
digressed.
interesting. And it's a good thing we got the podcast from however many long time ago. We was talking before about, I don't know if you remember, we was talking about relationships and about the importance of whether it's more important having a child with somebody or being married to somebody. And what we're
Do you know when
finding-
Wiley is always here mashing up my podcast? Every time I'm trying to do a thing, Wiley's just, I read your notes, right? So I'm just going to put in number
gonna
9
accelerate
and
your
number-
thing.
Yeah, just shut up, man.
I'm sorry, bro.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with this
I'm
guy?
just going with the flow of the team.
Every time Wiley's like, you know
I'm
what?
going with the
You know
flow
your
of the
point
team.
number 9?
All
Let
right,
me
but-
just leg it in now.
Give us some
So,
updates.
buddy, do me a favour and just come with some
Yeah.
notes.
Buddy's
Wiley's not allowed
fucking
to talk.
Man just killed my whole talkie.
All right,
Yeah.
again, I'm not going to bait up
Go
no
on.
names
Why is
because
he
I don't know if
stressed over
everyone's
there?
name.
Like, it's too much.
There's a lot going on the
Talk,
lives.
talk.
Actually, I'm tempted to say names.
Bro, everybody can see it, I don't know why you...
Well, yes, true.
But when it comes out, some people might not want to
it's
know
true,
like
it's
their
true.
name to be
No,
mentioned.
you're right,
so-
buddy. Don't listen to them.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, someone says
The truth.
I know the truth. It's fine. When a woman checks out, they're always subtle clues. But most men won't pick up on this.
Big up whoever said that.
But it's the truth. Most men won't pick up on this.
That doesn't mean there's no clues.
Buddy read the second part of the line. I'm with him.
We won't pick up. That's
What are the
the point
clues? Just in case.
You know, really, like, am I being checked out? Because, do you know what I mean? I realized
There's
there was no.
always clues.
I realized there was no onions in the stew beef.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
Don't speak for all of us, bruv.
All right, Mister.
Just talk the talk, man.
Anyway,
Ciao.
when we start getting quiet and less affectionate, be concerned.
There you
That was
go.
one of the things. But yeah, I don't
But
know.
sometimes she still need to get itch because the pom pom is.
And you think she's not sitting there saying,
So,
"Let me check my baby."
She's
dad."
gonna turn around and just
Yeah.
anyway.
And then after that, no
No,
cuddly wally. Just boot you to the other side of the bed. Drop sleep.
As soon as you bust, good night,
Yeah,
God bless. Look after yourself.
Push you over.
Go sleep in the front room. Go sleep in the
Yeah,
front room.
In the front room.
She gets up, goes and has a cigarette outside.
She gets up. She don't even smoke. Goes, has a cigarette. Start cleaning the windows.
Yeah.
All right then.
Washing dishes.
This is gonna be like tomorrow morning.
And you don't get the hint.
All right, then, cool.
They will say they're tired and falling out of love, but man don't listen and carry on. Again, this is just more man bashing.
Listen. You're identifying as a woman today, so don't.
Russ.
You have.
No, he's not. He's not.
Where you getting this from?
Go with it. Go with it.
Yeah.
Maybe some man don't care enough to acknowledge it.
Well, that is an important one.
Confidence.
You know what? It's like,
No, it's
I
not even
don't
confidence.
agree with that. I don't agree with that because it's not men don't care. Well, all right.
Like, talk your talk, and then
Percentage-wise.
I'll tell you what I mean. Go on.
Right, percentage-wise, I don't think that it's. Do you know how comfortable it is in someone being consistent? We can get very comfortable in consistency.
Talk the talk.
So unless something dramatically changes, as long as it's consistent, we're not going to pick up on the little isms and schisms that might change because it's consistent. Why? I come home, food's cooked, my clothes are washed and clothes are ironed, my this, that, and the other. She never asked me about work. She don't care about my workplace. Do you know what I mean? I'm out here bitching about these that turned up late for the podcast and us starting 21 minutes late. But I'm bitching about all. Do you know what I mean? It's none of this changes. So I'm not seeing the subtle hints. But do you know what I am seeing? Rah, she don't put her perfume on anymore, or she may not wear her makeup no more. Maybe because she ain't got no more. So I'm now not even paying any attention to the things that maybe sparked our relationship in the first place because I'm complacent in the consistency.
Or it's-
And because I'm complacent in the while he's stretching out, you do your thing over there, saboteur. But at the end of the day, if I'm happy with what I was getting beforehand, and I'm not seeing huge variations, is raw. You never shave your legs today, babe.
It's been 6 months. You only noticed today.
Right. She's now cane rolling her legs. But yeah, you never shave your legs today, babe.
What, the perm on?
But yeah,
Why is he laughing so hard though?
it's like Jericho on the pumps. But no, this is new, babe. You just noticed. Do you know what I mean? Right. She might be in a mood today, or she just came on a period, or she had a bad day at work, or well, bruv, let's be real. If we're gonna be real, let's be real. So certain men, and I'm not even gonna excuse myself, there are things that happen, and I may or may not purposely pay any attention to it.
Yeah, and
Because I didn't see it as a thing until this is why I think you are shit. This is why you're this why you're that. And like, rah, where you come with all this energy? I've been giving you hints all the time. Did you not realise I never gave you a big spoon when you had your soup? Was that?
I gave you your dinner last. Everyone else got their plates first.
Was that a hint?
But-
Because to you, it might have been significant. To me, it was, rah, you gave me the wrong spoon. I'm just going to go get the right spoon. And I couldn't care less. But do you understand? So the language that we speak, Venus versus Mars, then has its platform. But what, Buds? I'm going to come back to you, my brother.
I've forwarded on, so I apologise if I missed some of your lot's comments, but a lot of it is you lot talking to each other, so I've left a little bit of it out. I'm going back to the part where it says, it's a lot of slang, so bear with me a second. Some men are very good at manipulating true narcissists. They find a vulnerable woman who listens to his manipulation. You
know when half of this is can Buddy read out aloud,
Bruv.
and the other half is how bad is the English on the text.
ZN. So I don't know. ZN, ZN. I'm here.
Man just kicked over the thing. New Zealand?
No, it's manipulation, mental abuse, and tells her to get pregnant.
No, so you missed the ZN.
All right, listen. You see the comments. If you read it in your head and it's not English, next. Look, they ain't got time. Simple.
But I saw the ZN. I was like, ZN.
Let's keep going.
Tell the man before you lay down, no condom, no sex. However, the horniness takes over, and now the
No condom, no sex, brother. Listen, how many chicks have said,
brother.
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
You don't say
There's
it.
no words, bro.
Don't say nothing more.
So,
That's
all
it.
right.
Go, carry on. I know exactly what you mean.
Just
I know
the
exactly
tip.
what you mean.
Just the
Go on.
tip.
Go on.
Oh,
Go on,
I've already come.
Just the tip. Too late.
Too late.
You know?
Too late.
Everything is in the tip. Do you understand? You just don't realise.
One of my bedrooms.
Do you know why? Because I've already had sex with you in my head.
Long time ago.
As soon as I feel the wetness of the umps, bow.
No, but
That's yours.
Yeah.
No, but what it is that there's girls that are not on it. One of our bedrooms sent me a meme that a girl sent him, and it said, "If you don't like condom sex, get off the floor." The meme was off the astronaut. She sent him. The man in space.
This is how much
I'm not on it.
But
I'm gonna leave it there.
Let's get to the topic.
Let's
Like,
go back to
I know
the
you got
topic.
enough things to talk about. We're only at the top part of the page.
we're still only at the top part. But I
Come
knew,
on, bud. Give us some life. Give us life.
No. Buddy's got us
Right.
up to date, which is
to date enough.
Okay.
So do you know, this is why sometimes having my boys here, I love it and hate it. Okay, but the relationship breakdown. Now this one is one that I don't know how much further we're going to get after this part of the topic.
Oh no.
Right? Because this part is so important. Right.
Okay, Trevor.
I have to just reorganize the rhythm. But the relationship breakdown. Now, we already spoke about certain causes of the breakdown. Yeah?
Mhm.
But I want to hit you guys with something to think about. And all those on the live, add a friend, share, star, tag, do something. You understand? Right. I love you, babe. But I love our child. The love that I have for you is polar different to the love I have for my child. Because the love for my child, in theory, is an unconditional father-child relationship or father-daughter, father-son relationship. The love I have for you is now conditional. Rightly or wrongly, it's conditional. Unless I'm now head over heels in love with you. Do you get what I mean? Where my love is now blind. But the two definitions of love, they do not marry or live in the same dictionary definition. And until that's understood by individuals, we will then think that one aspect of our relationship versus the other aspect of our relationship was on par. And it's not. So when the relationship breaks down and he or she turns around and says, well, if you don't love me, you can't see your child, you're thinking this love is comparable. And it's not. Now, don't get me wrong. Some men, and some, they couldn't give one flying shit about their you. They don't care. But if their you is an access back to the partner, they wouldn't present love. Even if it's not true. They would present love. And when they present love, they're expecting whatever the other side of love looks like. So if I present love to the child, the mum might be willing to open up her legs for me again, because that was my happy place. Because when we used to link,
the way
that's
in,
what we
bruv.
did. It's my way in.
Buddy, you're
I'm
capping.
going to come back. I'm going to come back. Now, the other side is this. If I'm showing mad love for my child, the mum might be thinking, well, if he loves our child, he loves me.
So he would do as I say.
And now he's going to do what I say because I can maneuver and weaponize my child like a joystick to get him to do what I need him to do.
To be fair,
I'm not turning around and saying one is right. I'm not turning around and saying one is wrong. What I'm doing for the podcast is presenting an argument.
so you've shown the two sides.
Gentlemen.
And I've heard, and to be fair, I've heard of both. And it's like the first one that you mentioned where people are just turning and saying to themselves, well, look, you know what, they love their woman, or they love the woman more than they love the child. The child is just a consequence of me being with the woman, for example. And they're just sitting there saying to themselves that they will, if they can get into the woman's trousers, then this is what I want. The child is just, I mean, you're there, innit? And I can use this to basically say, if you want me to look after my child, you want to be around my child, I beg you open them legs so I can, you know what I mean, do my thing. And then and to be fair, some women, not all.
I'm going to like the child a little bit more now because mum's giving me
Yeah, Mum gave me
the
the
goody
hugs.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was great.
Rah, this is a great little kid.
Yeah.
Because when you go to bed, kids swell go on.
Then the moment
I'm not going home.
What's it? The moment you play up, oh, you've gone out. Oh, what? I'm not getting ums. Oh yeah, you come around to look after the little one. No, what for? Like,
Then ultimately, what
So
you're
you can
saying
go-
is that.
So you can go out
and check next man.
find next
Are
man.
you mad?
Mad thing.
All right. So
after your
ultimately,
own
what you're
kids.
saying is that the father never had any interest in the child in the first.
Never had
No,
interest.
no. This is not true. The difference is when the father shows love to the child,
Yeah.
that potentially shows the mum
That I'm
that
good.
he is a good dad or can show love. And because he can show love, she now may want to represent him with more love.
So she rewards him.
Or
She rewards him.
it's a reward.
Yeah, she rewards him.
How many of you have done F3s for a Scooby snack? I mean, you don't have to admit it live on the podcast. However,
Right.
Yesterday,
That you lot. Not me.
might still have a Scooby snack.
Not me. I'm okay. I'm out.
That's a good depiction of him.
No.
Oh my days.
I had from 3 people in the room, not me. I ain't backing that.
but come on,
Oh,
lads.
I love that.
Let's get back on page. So it's definitely, and do you know what I mean? It's easy to brush over this because it's quite difficult, isn't it? But it's easy to brush over this. However, we'll be lying if we didn't turn around and say that the love blurs the lines.
No, I totally agree. And I think it's probably even more potent when it happens the other way around, where they have the woman or the couple has a child, then the woman loses focus on the partner, and now this child
Is the everything.
is everything.
No, I
I'm
disagree with
talking.
that. It's not more prominent that way. It's more prominent the other way.
The reason why I say this is because you now become the plus one. So if you turn up or if you don't turn up, I'm still going to the rave. I'm still going to the fete, whatever it is. And you literally become the sideman. Because right now, all she can hear or see is this child. She works for this child. She breathes for this child. She cooks for this child. The child gets fed before you do. If you don't turn up, or if you do turn up and the child's fed, yeah, you better sort yourself out. Little Bud's cool. Little Bud's had his food. He's going to bed. But I was busy. I didn't get a chance to cook for us. So sort yourself out. Once that happens, that other person has to have a very, very, very strong willpower and understanding that at this moment in time, this person is now, their priorities have changed. They are now focused on this being that they've brought into the world and they feel responsible for. Now, as a husband, a partner, a boyfriend, a link, whatever you want to call yourself, that is very hard to adapt to because you were the number one.
I'm now no longer. I'm no longer playing the main instrument.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
You're percussion in the background.
I'm a supporting act, percussion.
Yeah, to the main
Okay.
act.
Sorry, something that was said on the live, and I have to read it out real quickly before we fly on. Some men can't separate, and when they've put some men, I'm going to actually put some men / women, cannot separate the love / hate for the woman from the relationship with the child. They are 2 separate things. And the reason why I put women, because it's directed at the men. And I'm thinking to myself, women do the same thing. All right, so I'll be very fair to your original question that there are 2 sides to this. When you said, Relly, that basically, you feel like if the women do it more, the men do it the most. I mean, I can sit there and say that from my own experience, I know enough guys in around me that have done it, and I've heard the stories. Like, for example, I can always sleep with my baby mum. I'm like, rah, all right. Like,
Do you know what?
Always.
Turn up with her favourite chocolates,
I've
her
got her.
favourite meal, blah, blah, blah. I've just come from the gym. I'm all pumped up. Yo, babe, let me just use the shower.
How are you? She's
What's she
going
going to do? Say no.
Say no. Are you mad? Me.
Do you know what I mean?
And then watch what I do. What were you going to do, bro?
Yeah, I'm going to stop giving her money.
I start giving her money.
Mm.
And I'm like, rah, all right.
That's modern day slavery, bro.
Brother, the funny thing
reality.
is, there's
Modern
a
day reality.
reality, brother.
It's reality,
I've
yeah.
seen so many of the man them do. I was like, rah, all right, say no. And especially...
Bro, do you know what? That rave was dead, you know. I'm just going to go and link my baby mum. Right,
What's she going to do?
So you back with your baby mum?
No.
But is she going to say no?
No.
No.
I'm going to turn up and knock at her door.
Because
and
she
say,
knows if I turn up or I turn around and put it on her and she denies me, all privileges stop. And essentially,
You think that?
bruv, I know.
Fact.
In this day and age
Facts,
now,
bruv.
so
Today,
I-
it's happening today.
Right, so
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out to the people that's on the live.
Already been told that's the baby boy love. Already, right there. It says that's the baby boy love right there in front of me.
So baby boy love is what? Because the person is the father of the child, he has access anytime for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Potentially.
I'm not from that school.
Do you know what? do you know
No,
the funniest
we
thing is?
can't ignore that
can't
it's
ignore
happening.
it.
No, I'm not ignoring it.
I'm
Do you
asking
know
the
the
question.
funniest thing is?
But
I'll be
majority
as real
is
as
the
this. I'll be as real as this.
But you know what? Can I say something?
Son.
So controversial. Why did she give it up? I didn't want my body count to go up.
Yeah, that's why.
I wanted to keep my body count low.
That's
What are you
definitely
talking
one.
about, babe? So I've slept with 5 guys. I might have slept with all of them in random orders, but my body count is still 5
Why? Because
I only see my baby father and the guy who took my virginity.
So do women apply this logic if they want some?
That's a good question to ask the ladies who are alive. Ask them alive.
Facts. We just.
Do you know when you turn up
Facts.
and you bring your kid a present on Mother's Day? Like, give that to your mum. And then mum's like, oh, this is really nice. Let me wear some lingerie. 1 second, this don't make no rascal sense. Do you understand? Sorry, Jay.
I don't
You know
know.
when Jay's out here adjusting the headphones like, yo, lads, I don't understand. Bruv, this is the reality. Like, let me turn around and turn up.
All right, so
Because if I turn up, I know his weakness. I know he likes his backstroked. He likes his food full.
Sorry,
You
so-
lot are giving out the secrets, bro. There must be pure people fuming online.
Very, very raw.
Go on then.
All right. A lot of us would. I don't even bring it to us in the room. I don't want to speak for every other man. All right. But a lot of us in the room, if we have baby mums,
Them in the room.
all right.
Yeah, go.
Even
speak for
Jay,
yourself.
Jay took his headphones off, bro.
Yeah.
You're out here.
Finish, man. Finish your
Okay,
sentence.
you got me.
You know what? I ain't looking to get my tires slashed that side, so say for yourself, bro.
You trying to
A lot
tell
of
me
buddies.
For a long,
Yeah.
No, say your original statement,
no,
blood.
for a long time, you never felt to yourself that you could sleep with your baby mum.
Why would I want to?
If I wanted to, because
So wait. You're walking around with this complex that you can go back, or you at some point you could sleep with your baby mum if you wanted to.
you never felt that.
No, because once I
you know
moved
what?
on,
That's a
I
lie.
moved
Do you
on.
know- I'm sorry,
Do you know
you're
what,
not-
bud?
that's a lie.
Do you know, I understand and I respect your question, and I'll be lying if I said no.
Thank you.
Because at the end of the day, we had an attraction
At one
for
point.
9, 10, 15 years.
Thank you.
So now we've broken up. You're looking as hot as I felt you looked. I'm looking as best as I can. I walk into the yard. You're looking like this. I'm feeling like that. Well, go on. Even if it never happened,
Get back
in my
together.
head,
Get back together then.
Brother,
You've got
and
feelings
that
for each
stress,
other.
that stress that made me leave in the first place is haunting me.
That's a kumbaya chair.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a
Maybe
kumbaya
it
chair.
is,
I'm not
maybe
on
it
it.
is.
Brother, you know what the
I'm not
funniest
on
thing
that.
is? I know for a fact
Facts, bruv.
there are people that have fought it. They sit there and think,
Do you know what, bud? Do you know what, bud? I've got the answers on the thing. The survey has the answers,
All right,
bruv.
go into the survey because we keep digressing.
The survey could actually probably tell you that
It
a lot
says,
of,
bruv.
if you've even put it on there, I don't know if you put the question out there, how many of them have gone back and slept with their baby father at one
But
point
that's not the
when
same
they're
thing,
broken
bud.
up?
Yeah,
It's
that's
same
not the
thing.
same
but
thing.
No,
It's
but
not.
No,
It's
no,
not.
no, what it is,
You're
lads.
saying women are weak.
Yeah.
No. What we're
Not
saying,
true.
no. His original
You're saying you're
statement.
weak.
Nah, bro.
All right, wait,
Someone's
Rain,
weak.
touch me on that one.
No, take it
Spam
on,
me, I
bud.
beg you. Somebody's
No,
weak.
Take it on because I'm gonna help you lot all out.
No, not
he
me.
said, do you feel like you can?
Yeah,
He never
but
said
that's
you
what
did
you
it.
call
I never said you did it.
No,
Shoulda, woulda,
he said
coulda.
no.
I feel like I can draw J-Lo.
Do I feel like I can be the Silver Surfer? I feel like I can be him.
Nah,
I feel like I can draw.
Because you've never been the Silver Surfer.
Oh, my
But
guy.
I can be him.
We need to put a high five wrong, but it's fine.
Talk with facts.
Producer,
Not-
fix that.
not-
But all I'm saying,
Use the proper
on
wording.
the
No,
reality is
I'm not
this:
having it.
is have I felt like I could?
Of course I felt I could.
Do you know what? And did I? Probably not.
All right,
I can't say I never.
Right.
I can't say I never. But did probably not. But
I
in
haven't.
my head,
I could do it whenever I
I
want
felt
to.
like I could,
So-
and
right.
it's up to me in that moment. Am I going to act on my animalistic urges that are inside of me? And then I think of everything we've been through as a couple and now a split relationship. Am I going to act on it? Probably not. Now, I would love the women on the live and the men, everyone on the live, to turn around and say, "Has your ex?" Even if there's no you involved, tried it.
No, that's
no,
different.
no,
It's
it's
different.
right.
No,
Bruv,
you're
mixing up
the
the
reason
thing.
why they tried.
Here's my
The
question.
reason why I'm gonna finish.
Order.
And then you can come.
Please.
The reason why they tried was the
Love
same
it.
reason why he asked the question. He said, "Do you feel you can?" He never said you did. He said, "Do you feel you
feel
can?"
you can.
And if you
Yeah,
felt you
okay.
can, certain men tried, and women tried, and I would say a higher percentage got through.
The podcast.
Even women do it.
Wait, stop.
Women do
Yeah,
it.
great. The podcast is about baby mothers, baby fathers. It's not about X. So we're talking about with the kids involved. So if the dynamic is there's no child, you can't move the goalposts and say X is just a relationship, because that I can kind of grasp that. When the kids involved, it's different.
Go on, I'll let you take this one.
Rain, I have to apologise before I respond to this. They couldn't give one shit, bruv.
Kid, no kid.
No kid.
I don't
Is
care.
he awake? Is he asleep? Do you know what I mean? Do I need to bring some flipping gummy bears? Am I going to have to take him to the park so he can run around and get tired? So when I get back home, he's going straight to bed so I can get a little piece of mummy before I leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't let... This is reality. I'm being sorry.
Here's my question.
Sorry, Wiley. Let Wiley.
Here's my direct question then, because you're talking about, do you feel you can? It's not about do you feel you can. So my question is, if you did do what you felt you could, would you have got through? Because it's not one thing to say, you may feel like you can do it, but you may be hit by a brick wall. Do you believe if you'd have done that, you'd have got through?
Let me hear him. The whole point of me saying that I believe I can do it is because I believe I can do it. I'm not trying to decipher the matrix here. I'm saying to you, I believe I can do it. So I'm going to do
time
it.
out. I'm gonna call a time out. I'm gonna call a time out.
No.
I just never did it.
Go on, Wiley.
Whether I did it or not is another story.
No, because
I believe I can do it.
No.
Bruv, I believe Liverpool are going to win the league this season.
That's not-
I'm going to be right.
that's
all right?
not-
But the fact is, whether they do it or not, I still believe it.
Buddy's
Like,
killing me.
No.
Buddy, stop. Buddy's not allowed to talk. Buddy's on a 2-minute
Right,
timeout.
Thank you.
All right.
Buddy believes he can get through. Does he
Wait,
believe?
one second.
No.
Let's
Buddy
be...
believe-
One second. No, Wiley. Before...
Citrus, let me at least get my... You know what?
Please.
Go on. No.
I'm going to say something.
No, say what you're saying.
I'm definitely going to make my point.
Go on.
We're not talking about Buddy. We're not talking about Buddy's ex. We're just going to say he believes men can get through, yeah? Let's not use his situation or my situation or anyone else's
I'm not
situation
even
in the
doing
room.
that.
So I'm going to turn around and ask you to please rephrase your question and then we can go
It's
from
all
there.
right. It's all right.
Laying him down.
No, it's all right. I've lost the complete point of it.
You know, in the
Go on,
first
go
two
on.
answers to the question, the woman mentions narcissism.
Yep.
Is there an argument to say that Buddy's I believe I can narcissism as to why?
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
it is.
100%. However,
So he's
you know
that
when we're both-
guy they're talking about.
wait.
I didn't say
But
it.
I don't know what I'm saying is
No.
wait.
If
If you want to talk about
Bud.
personally, I've not done it. My statement.
Did you not believe you could?
One second. My statement, which Citrus said, is: do I believe that? 100%.
Right.
I believe it.
Right.
I believe it because I believe he could. I believe you could. I believe
You see,
you could.
you-
I
now-
believe
all right,
you could.
let me respond
I
to you.
believe it.
So the difference for me is, I don't believe that I could go and get peace again. I believe she would want the relationship back. And that's two totally different things.
Kumbaya, bruv. Kumbaya. Bruv,
That's
you know what?
two
I'm
totally
done.
different
You know
things.
what? I'm done. Kumbaya.
We're
Because-
going to run out of time.
No.
I said this to you before then. I said,
No,
I said we're gonna
because
run
you're
out of time.
talking about
But
you get
really-
peace and leave
Really?
by before the sun comes up.
Really,
Kumbaya.
I'm going to help you out. It has happened.
Thanks.
Everything's happened at some
Okay?
point, at some extent.
So if you want clarity, it has happened. Right?
Did you ask a question in the thing? How many times did your baby
Bruv,
father
the question is in the rhythm, and I got an answer, which clarifies what I'm saying. It has happened.
Yeah,
Run the
We
rhythm.
have evidence.
I know, but what I'm saying
to say it's
is,
happened.
did you ask the question? How many times did your baby father try to get some, and you said yes or no?
No, it asks, what's the situation? In fact, I'm not going to
Go
even...
for it, man.
Yeah,
So-
run the
yeah,
rhythm.
my thing.
Run the rhythm. Run the rhythm.
No. Because
Are you hosting?
I am hosting, but...
Then run the rhythm.
Don't let him back you up, bro.
Facts, bud.
This on this side of the- on this side of the-
Look, man,
I'm gonna give my t-shirt back.
All I'm turning around and saying...
Talk the
is-
talk.
All right, I'm going to help you out
Go
because,
on.
because the kumbaya feels like it can't happen. It happens. It's probably happening right now.
Right now.
As soon as the podcast finish, a big mum is going to message the ex
Probably even on the
and
live,
say,
bruv.
do you know what?
Do you want to come and see your youth
Do you
tonight?
want to come and see you tonight?
Come on.
He's got a new tooth. Come and see. He won sports day. He came 8th.
Yeah, but
come along. He's turned around and learned how to spell the word fatherhood. Come along,
look.
bruv.
Everything happens, though.
Whatever it is, it's happened
Yeah,
and
everything
happening.
happens
So
right
let's
now,
not,
everywhere,
let's
all
not
at
be,
once.
Let's
It was
not
a
be
great film.
living. Let's
For
not
those
be
who understood.
living in a world where we think these things are not happening. However, I would like to come back to the
We're
question.
trying to get you to go back there.
Thank you, lads.
Go on, then.
Do you know what? Getting authorization from this
Bruv,
part of
From
the
that side
chair.
of the chair, bruv. It's mad, innit?
Right. All the kumbayas. Right. So, a couple things. During the breakup, this is what I said, we're not going to get through it all today. I'm not even halfway.
Okay, just if you could ask a question 10
Shut
seconds ago.
it. So, what I'm going to
Really
share
small.
is during the breakup, get out by any means necessary.
Wait, what did you say?
Get out.
What's the question?
I'm going to say it again. During the relationship,
Yeah.
get out. So the breakup by any means necessary.
So you've had enough, you just need out.
I just need out. However, with the out, privacy. I would argue the fact that in today's culture, more and more people feel like if my relationship has broke down or is breaking down, I'm now not going to inhibit this information. I'm going to share because culturally, nowadays, that's what we do. I'm not turning around and saying Citrus and Buddy have broken up, Buddy ain't shit. On the other side of the coin, I'm now going to turn around, burn his clothes, and post it on Facebook Live. I'm going to put in the WhatsApp chat with all of my friends, this is why he's shit, because I'm going to take screenshots of blah, blah, blah. I'm going to turn around and say, he's chatting to this chick, this is the voice, this is the conversation I've had with her, I recorded it, I'm posting it in this group. I'm going to turn, Buddy, don't hate me. I'm going to pull together a WhatsApp group of all the chicks that he's banging, and we're going to discuss Wagwan and how it happened. Do you understand? All I'm saying is, whereas I'm not saying you should hide from what's happening, however, what I am saying is now this information of relationship breakdowns become public.
What was the question that you asked?
The relationship breakdown. This is what it's based
Okay, go
on.
on.
And phrasing the relationship breakdown is how do we get out? And is it private or is it
So basically,
out there?
does it now go onto social media? Like,
Or any kind of
we live in a world right
platform,
now
innit?
where before, for example, and I'm just going to talk about the older generation. So mum's going out with ex, and he's cheated on her, and only her and her sister and her good friends know about it.
Right.
All right, as far as it's ever going to really go.
For them, yeah?
Yeah, they don't. No one else has to know because that's the conversation. That's where it stays. Now, in the day and age that we live in now, you cheat on your girl, and then all of a sudden, it's posted on. Like she's now turning and said, "What? Cheat on me? Yeah, bad girl, Bumperclark X, whatever you want to call your girl now." Like, right, cool, safe. This
Bomba cheat.
Bomba cheat. What's gonna go?
He's a bomber cheat.
The right acting is plastered on. Look what Bumperclark does. Brrr, it's on the MT podcast. It's on. All of a sudden, it's everywhere, and it's like raw. Big
Right,
difference.
look at bomber cheat.
Now the question being,
All right, what's the question?
are you now able to resolve that situation? All right. Whereas before, the older generation using Mumsy and that, all right, she could just easily turn and say, "Oh, don't worry, Auntie. Oh, don't worry, Sharon. If this is the situation, it's fine. We're okay now." Like, and nobody else knows. These people don't know. But because she's now gone and said, "Bomber Clark did blah, 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 blah,"
So you're just talking about
Can
shame.
you go back?
The shame.
It's a shame. Can you go back?
Well, you're saying shame. I'm saying privacy. So when it comes down to if me and my partner broke up, this is a disagreement between myself and her. If she now turns around and blasts the whole breakup out there, and then you are like, "Rah, you broke up your chick. Oh no, that's just such a shame."
She burned your
And then
clothes.
She burnt my clothes. Oh no. She broke your decks. Oh no. She smashed your fish tank. Oh no. Do you know what I mean? She poured sugar in your petrol tank. Oh no.
Now her and your ex are good friends.
But 2 weeks later, we're at a dinner, and I walk in the yard. I walk in the dinner with her. You lot are now like,
Idiot.
I swear
Idiot
last
thing
week
that-
my girl burnt all of his clothes, but now he's rolling around like,
I don't know.
but I wouldn't melt.
So, go on,
Sorry,
Wally.
is that a different scenario as parents, or is that a different scenario as breaking up? Because
This point is very specific on, we're still thinking about single parent. It will come back, but it's about the breakup process. So when the breakup happens, when it's publicized, sorry, I'm going to come to you next. So I saw a post on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a guy, he's in the army. His pregnant missus was sleeping with another man while he was serving somewhere. He's now doing a video with her blindfolded and with the earmuffs on, with his son. And he says, she don't know, but we are breaking up because she's been cheating on me in our bed with a
The
man.
general. No, I'm joking.
And with the general. Rain calls himself the general on weekend. But with the general, right, she's been cheating and I'm leaving her and I'm taking my son. Right? Now, this breakup is now public. It's got something like 700,000
And I'm going to do it on air.
views. Right? I'm doing it on air. I'm doing it live.
I'm done.
So when he's done that, so she takes her glasses off from the air. She goes to kiss him. He actually puts his hand in her face to say, "I'm not on that." She's now baffed because he hasn't even told her why they're breaking up. Now, I'm not turning around and saying that she's right or she's wrong or he's right or he's wrong. However, right now, you've plastered this all where it's gone viral in front of your child. So now this child is going to grow up in a household knowing the hatred between one parent to the other is so vile that it's now shared. So in school, you were that kid whose parents broke up on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Or was trending on TikTok and blah, blah, blah. So nothing's private no more. So I'm turning around and saying, when these decisions are made and we make these decisions are made for us, is it our place to then turn around and plaster all of this news on the front of the tabloid
so that's
of
the
life?
question. What did the people them answer on the survey?
While Buddy's going to go through them.
No, not him. I'm talking about, what did the... What did they...
Let me just get the survey.
Oh, sorry.
Talk amongst yourselves.
No, because what it was, because I heard you. I'm thinking, what?
Look,
what
ultimately,
question did you ask?
anybody who puts their private information out on social for that kind of publicity is at fault.
What? It depends. You can put it at fault if you've got no intention of revisiting.
No.
or
You're wrong.
back.
You're wrong.
No one's ever wrong. Everyone's got an opinion.
You're wrong.
So,
The reason why I say you're wrong, hear me out for a second,
Go on then.
is because if that only affects you, then do what you want. However, if there are kids involved and other people that can suffer from your actions, then you're at fault.
Your public actions.
Your public actions, then you're at fault because you're not taking into consideration that this doesn't just affect me. If it just affects me and it just makes me look bad or makes me look good, then run with your thing.
Did you know what though? And it's funny you said that. Again, looking at it from a very older perspective, a lot of the younger generation don't look at that. I mean, what you said.
You live here in the now.
Yeah, you're not wrong in what you said because I agree with it because I'm more from this generation than I am
Right,
from
old
that
boy.
generation. All right, but what I'm trying to say to you is they live in the here and now, innit? So they have OnlyFans pages. They put up titty pictures. They put up pictures of them
That
half
got
naked.
dark enough quick.
No,
Do you know what?
But
Do you know
the thing
there's something that's very interesting what he mentioned is, do you know when, and let's be real, gents, yeah? We can be real. Everyone can be real. When someone's just broken up from their partner, right, you probably never saw their statuses or nothing like that. Then you see some theoretical
Some
meme.
bullshit that Steve Harvey said.
bollocks,
And then after that, you start seeing, do you know what picture is the trigger? And I apologize, but it's a trigger. It's from women, right? It's the cross-leg one on the beach where they take it from the pom-pom down to the big toe and they get the shot. And all you see is the sun kissing some fire and some tan and some baby oil.
Living my best life.
And then it's like, sometimes I just have to do me. It's that kind of leading. And then
I live a sheltered life.
Then certain people are going to turn around and say, lovely pic, babe. Do you know what I mean? You know the friend,
Oh,
the friend
okay,
group?
it's the...
It's the...
Okay,
it's
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You're
then
very
you're gonna
long-winded about the shit that you're saying, man.
It's going to be lovely pic, babe. And then the scavengers or the man that have been
Harbour
waiting.
sharks.
Harbour sharks.
Sexy legs.
The ones
They
that are
smell
waiting.
the blood.
No, it's not even that blood. It's the eyes.
Eyes, flames, fires.
Right, so there's trouble in the marital nest. So they can tell there's
you're out
something
here
going
now,
on.
yeah?
You're now out here. So I'm now going to seize the opportunity because you are displaying that you are now back on the market.
You need a shoulder, and I've got them big shoulders.
Big shoulders. Rain is out here pumping iron on a nut and flex.
I'm putting that on his status. Just taking a picture.
it-
Just making a picture of
Even
his...
just to go back to your original point and the original question, right? Is it now the baby mum's fault? Is it their fault? So they put this out there.
Is what? That they're single?
No, but they're single now. They put that type of stuff out there. Am I going
That's
back?
after, though.
But am I going back?
You don't have to.
No.
Because she's got man sending her the eyes.
No, but because like I said, am I going back? Am I now sitting there saying to myself, oh yeah, I'm going to be a part of this foolishness.
But
that
you've
you're
broken
doing.
up. You're at the point where you've broken
Yeah,
up.
but-
Are you saying that they should have tried to rekindle it?
Do you know what?
Is that what you're saying?
No, but could it have been rekindled? Possibly. Now,
No,
you've
hell no.
turned around and put it out there to turn around and say,
I'm out here.
Like, 5 man for me boom boom, yay!
Ah,
5 man.
love
for
No,
me,
no,
boom,
no, no,
boom,
no,
yay.
no, no, no,
And
no.
then you're going to
You've
turn around,
broken
this
Yeah.
is the reality,
But
James.
you've broken up.
There's that you've broken up,
Broken
but
up, and then I'm going to go back because the opportunity is still there and
But-
I want it.
So here's the
So I'm
thing.
going to go and try and take
See,
it.
you're not even-
here's the
Wiley,
thing, though.
Wiley,
Here's
you
the
said
thing,
on the
though.
podcast maybe about a year ago, when I'm done, I'm done. I've clocked out and I'm good. Brother, I promise you, this is not a universal stance.
It's not. It's not.
no, I
so,
agree.
So there are certain men that are going to say, yeah, I'm out. And then baby mum's turn around saying, do you want to come round tomorrow? Little one's going to be in bed. What time? Come round at 11 o'clock.
you're saying-
11 o'clock. That's bound chicken wow time. I'm
What you're
on my
saying-
way.
Yeah, what you're saying makes total sense. But
Go
what
on.
I'm saying, if you're saying that you've broken up, and this is now an action from having broken up, you can't now say, oh, you know what, but we've broken up, but we kind of broken up. If you're on a break or you're not actually broken up, what you're saying makes total sense. Because you're saying there's still an opportunity for getting back together.
Okay,
But
so
if you-
she's
if
going to
you've
turn around.
broken- if
So
you've
she's going
broken
to turn
up-
around and say, yo, babe, did you sleep with anyone? You say no. What about you? She's for the streets. She's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just writing off the whole rhythm,
Yeah.
brother.
Brother,
Come on, let's be real,
you
bro.
got to understand to yourself that there is a certain. Do you know what it is? I don't want to say this too hard because I'm going to get. I can get a
You're the
million,
truth.
a million
complete
responses. to this.
opposite of what he is.
Say the thing.
Alright,
I don't want to talk the truth, but I'm the truth.
Body on the fence.
There is a certain amount of ownership that certain man them take when they've got a baby mum. There is a certain amount that people will sit there, man them will sit there and say, I don't feel an ownership. But they do. Because
Narcissism.
but you can
is.
say where it is, but it is what
It's
it is.
mental illness.
But bro, you can say where it is. And
power,
people
innit?
that sit there and say they don't have a side of it, even if they don't have it fully, there is a side of it. Depending on how long your relationship's been, depending on what your relationship consisted of.
Depending on how you broke up and
broke
what
up
happened.
and how you feel.
Your relationship with your child,
Yeah.
your relationship with your ex, your relationship with your ex's family.
All of this
It's all mad,
makes,
yeah.
it all makes up how you feel when she turns and says, I'm out here. Out where, bitch? Da-da-da-da-da. Rah, rah, I'm vexed now. Blah, blah, blah. Why are you vexed? I thought you was broken up. You've been broken up for 5 years.
Yeah, but we've been broken up, but not really broken up because we may have found a path back.
We were on
Now-
a break.
Now,
Ross.
all I'm
you
hearing
got it.
is the path back is blocked.
Bro, and this is, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, do you want to come and taking it back to the original questions and stuff? Oh, you're going to come and look after your children? No, I'm not. Dirty bitch. Da-da-da-da-da.
Russ,
And I'm like, bro, where is this all coming from?
I like Buddy's
Alright?
energy.
Where is this all coming from? But this is what it stems. This is what the narcissism, like you're saying.
But this is where the love and the love get blurred.
get blurred.
Blurred is an understatement because it sounds like there's so many issues going on. First of all, there's a relationship with the child, there's a relationship with the partner, and there's a relationship with yourself because you're ultimately at that point where you're just there for convenience. You're not there for her, you're not there for the child, you're there because you're going to get whatever you're going to get out of it.
And you know what? While I'm getting what I might be able to get out of it, there may be a way to rekindle our relationship because I'm now going to be able to look past whatever you did or you can look past whatever I did. So now, as a collective, we can come to...
Do you know what this reminds me of?
Go on.
We had a podcast and
Right.
we had to talk about what you shouldn't do for I think it was a side chick or somebody that you're just linking or somebody who's not your girlfriend. And it was along the lines of not giving a woman, somebody you're sleeping with, girlfriend privileges if they're not a girlfriend. And that ultimately is the underlying statement. The underlying statement here. If you're not my partner, why am I giving you the privileges and benefits of a girlfriend? Why am I coming at your beck and call? Why am I...
Do you know what?
As a
Do you know
baby
what?
mum,
Because I just want peace.
Yeah, but that if you're a baby mum,
I just want peace.
Yeah,
I just want
but
peace.
you're giving a girlfriend privileges.
I just want peace.
But she's the mother of your child.
I just want
different.
peace.
It's
I'm just the mother of my child. So there's a level that she actually
The mother of your child.
But
So
I
your
want
responsibility
peace.
is to the child.
All right, but
Yeah.
I want peace.
Yeah, but before she
she's
was
the
a mother to my child,
it's my peace.
it was that's where I
But
was
she's
getting
not
my
there no
goody
more.
To
But she's still to who?
To who?
She's still my
to
peace.
you. She ain't there to you.
Yeah.
She better not be there to you. But she better be there for me because that's your job.
Right.
That's how I've
Nah.
seen you for however long. Because this has now changed.
By what you lot are
turned
saying,
up.
ultimately, your baby mum has status forever.
No, because ultimately
She
it's
can
your-
come and slap your missus.
Are you
No.
What you?
No.
So long as she doesn't have your chance. Look
Yeah,
at they got your chance.
Yeah,
You're gonna back
if
and forth.
you've got a
side of the
missus,
table,
she
but-
doesn't have a you for you,
that can't
your
happen.
baby mum walks in the yard, listen, I need him tonight. Takes you by the hand
Tonight.
and bumps.
And
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
This is
Don't fall down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So once again, that tells me that you're not necessarily in control of whatever sexual activity is going on, and we've got to be real, bruv. On some of the responses, I'll help you out. On some of the responses, it says, "I've got a you with
Then
my
show
man."
us your evidence. Come with your evidence. Come with your evidence. Back your talk.
Survey monkey.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Bring the survey
It
monkey
says-
because
it
right now
says-
we ain't
it
seen
says-
nothing.
It says, "I have a child with my ex."
Yeah.
And he went back to his baby mum. What that says to me was he was always banging his baby mum and you were over there. He was going over there because it was convenient.
You know what that tells me?
I'm
Wait.
gonna finish. When he finished over there with you, guess whose legs was wide open when I'm ready to come back? Hers. So he went back there. And you know what? You're giving me 10% headache. She gives me 0 headache. So, rather than your 10% headache, I'm going back to 0 headache. Because 0 headache is out here offering me life. Because she's making the oxtail how you don't know how to.
Right.
She's turning around and ironing my work shirts and
Cool.
steaming my boxes. She's turning, wait. She's turning around and doing things for me that you don't know how to. So therefore, I left the green grass, went to your grass is greener, realized your thing is some AstroTurf temporary thing,
And then went back. Right, now you know what that tells me?
The reality is, if you look from the perspective of the original baby mum, I'm blessed.
So you know what that
If
tells
you
me?
went to the new baby mum, he's mine. The original baby mum says, ha 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 ha. That's what you think, blood.
Let me
I'm
just
gonna get
rally
glued
back
up
this
again.
thing
I'm going to
and-
rally back because I can.
Now, you know, that's what it tells you. You know what it tells
Alright.
me? It tells me that you knew he had the original baby mum. You knew that he was there. You told yourself, I've got the goody good, and I'm going to draw you away from her. And you put yourself in direct competition with her. That's what that says to me. So now you know that he's going back there. But you're saying, you know what? I can draw him away. I've got the ability. I want him. I'm going to draw him away. That's what that tells me.
You weren't listening.
You weren't
I was
listening.
listening. I was fully listening.
You weren't listening.
Buddy, hit me with the comments, bro.
All right. So.
Oh, no. Not this, the buddy explanations. We ain't
No.
gonna hit this.
Buddy knows
All right,
life.
go on, buddy. We're listening.
Where am I starting from?
And just before, we are only at question 5.
Yeah, but we didn't even get the answer to question 5.
I mean, I couldn't get through it.
No,
But we're going to revisit.
We're
It
gonna
might
have
be
to
next week,
revisit.
but we have to
Bud,
revisit.
carry on, please. I beg you.
Buddy, please.
Where do I start from?
So before Buddy continues, I'm just going to help out and paint the picture. So, gents, we're going to summarize because we're coming close to the end of the podcast time. And there are so many comments to get through. So I'm going to let Buddy pull
I'm just
himself
gonna
together.
it isn't
No,
just
man.
isnm.
Run the rhythm.
I
So
can't speak all of them, there's
before he does, I'm going to ask you guys to summarize on what we've already discussed thus far. It gets saucier through the second half of the Single Mothers podcast. Are you at fault? So we spoke about It Takes Two to Tango. We spoke about how many children in society are from a single parenthood and the percentage of that single parenthood who live in poverty. We also spoke about why are so many single parents, single mums at a 92% ratio. We also discussed how many children from a single mum have the same father for more than one child. Right. We also spoke about the cause of the breakup, and this is where we started to get unstuck with the conversation. But I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, and I also think we shouldn't have to rush through it because I know when you guys turn your phones on after the podcast, you're gonna have messages upon messages.
Brother, I tell him,
You
as soon
turn
as
your
I
phone for
leave,
3 days, yeah.
turn that thing right off.
And you know what? And all
Next
I would
Thursday.
say is we've just got to be honest. And there've been some conversations and some questions and some answers that have come up, which, in all honesty, we don't necessarily have that as a stance. We may not even agree with, but we can't ignore the reality that's happening in life. Because there are people in the original MT group that are living this life. Do you know what I mean? I ain't gonna name no names, but there are people that are living. No, there are people that
calling their ex to go back for some.
Bruv, and get in peace. Yeah, let's not get confused, bruv. There are people that are living this life. So, and I'm not gonna blow up in my man them, but this is a reflection of society. Do you know what I mean? And if we're going to turn around and argue the point it's not happening, we're not telling the truth.
There's one thing I'd have to say. I think you should rephrase that and say there are women out there who are giving it to those men because it's
I'm not blaming them.
The question was
the amount of questions that came back. He was a narcissist. He was controlling.
Yeah.
He was this. So there's certain women.
And I've got a second you with him.
There are certain women out there that are turning around and saying, "Do you know what? For the peace of the household, I will give him what he wants. Because when he gets what he wants, my child get what he or she wants."
Sorry, one of the statistics that you said when they said, "Oh yeah, they've only got one baby father," that's down to that as well. Sometimes they don't want to have multiple different baby fathers.
And different bodies, bro.
They don't want different bodies.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things we didn't touch on it enough, but that is one of the reasons.
I think you're giving women. You're not giving enough women enough credit.
Finally, we spoke about. I'm not turning around and discrediting women, brother. It's not that. I'm just turning around and talking about the reality that I have observed firsthand. The reality that conversations that's taken place with me in the last 7 days from some of our boys that are going through the same thing right now. These gentlemen are in their late 30s and early 40s, and they're going through this today. I can't even talk about the wild generation that are now only turning 23 and got 3 different youths for 3 different chicks. Do you get what I'm talking? So I can only talk about the people that we are in contact with and those that have answered the survey questions that were presented. However, I know Buddy has now. Are you ready?
I'll go through some of them.
I know Buddy's now got a couple answers to share, but I don't want us to paint a picture to anyone of the non-truth. And to be honest, there's someone on this podcast that when they finish are going to message their baby father or baby mother. No, there's someone listening on the live that's going to send a message out to their baby father or baby mother and ask a question because we've posed a different angle to an argument that's going to spark a thought.
What I think the people on the live should do is send the podcast, which is going to be uploaded after this, and you'll be able to watch it in your own time. Send it to the baby father and see what his response is to what we've discussed.
No, he weren't stuttering, bro. He said, "Save the thing, send it to your baby father." You know when you're blocked. Do you know when the baby father's blocked on Instagram?
They would just laugh.
Do you know
unblock him, send it.
Unblock him, send it, block him again. but, buddy, comments.
So nothing scares me anymore. One comment. Toxic society. One person said, because you took vows on your wedding day, you never took any other. So basically, what it was is they said that only men that are married can cheat. I don't agree with that one.
Ross.
No, I get the thought process, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that's a violent thought process.
Again, toxic after that.
Narcissist.
It's awful. Privacy has become a thing of the past. And I think that's in relation to when we were talking about how social media now takes over things. Like I said, it was very much a case of when your parents or our parents are all going through any type of mishaps that might happen within their relationships, those things were kept very much in-house. When you're now in the world that we're in now, a lot of things are taken out-house. It's like everybody knows about it.
But the reason why it's taken out-house, just to answer the question, is that you've got programs like Love Island, which thrives on Arms House. You've got people that are in social media. Look at Kanye West. You look at
the Kardashians.
But that's the same kind of circle. The Will Smith thing. People think it's okay to kind of divulge their information. And I think what we were saying, I'm not sure who was saying it, is that if you, and this is the most extreme example, so I apologize for it in advance, but if you say your man is shit because he beats you, and then 2 weeks later, you say, and then you say, I'm separated from him. And then 2 weeks later, you walk into, I don't know, Stone Love, Addis, where all the man them are there with the man that beats you. Like, what are you saying? You can't say that the man's rubbish and all of that, and you're going to stay with him. If you tell your friends that, your friend should act in a way of, right, that man's not good for you, we're going to keep you away. But if you walk in with him, what are you saying to them?
It's none of your friend's business. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course it's your friend's business.
Your friends could advise you, but they can't make it.
Okay, let's keep it on the live.
All right, so where was I? Celebrity exposes their ting.
Yeah.
What you was going anyway. we need shame back. The
We
word
need shame back. Why? What? Yes. Whoever said yes.
the word couple literally means two. Why does anyone else in your relationship matter? It's an interesting point. Hurt people, and innocent people, the children get hurt as a result.
Sounds like a song.
Let's go. Right now, there are babes online telling Twitter how she gave one guy 20K within a month of knowing him. God, when? I don't know where that was going. Buddy in the building, aka on the fence. That was Rain.
AKA on the fence.
Who said that?
Rain.
No, but who said it on their podcast?
Ghost.
All right. Okay. Shouts out to Ghost.
There's a lot of men that bang baby mums will have another gal until baby mum want him back. That's another thing. So someone says Ross talk the thing. Agree with women boundaries. Scrolling through again, there's so many comments. You have to meet the baby mum because as a woman, you also have to meet. You also have that woman in your life forever if your man has a kid with her. So saying basically, if you have to kind of as a girlfriend
Introduce the baby mum to the girlfriend.
Skipping through that. Will the kid's mother want to meet the new woman though? You know, women have to be compete slyly. So I get it. Is that now going to cause a trouble with you having to be able to see your children because you're now going to introduce your girlfriend to the baby mum, and it's a passer. So that in itself is a bit of a mad one. As a mother, don't you want to know who's going to be the stepmother to your child? Is what the rebuttal was.
They said I don't want to know.
As a mother, would you want to know? Don't you want to know?
That's a good question, actually.
And I think that's dependent on the person, isn't it?
Relationship done. What happens.
No, but you say that. Like I said, the relationship with the baby mum doesn't stop because we still have to have a relationship of a sort.
With the child continues.
No,
I know, respect for the baby mum has to continue.
And I won't go into more points. So there is a couple more, but
that's for part two. That's for part two.
The point you just made there. The relationship
it's semantics. It's semantics.
Yeah, but the relationship you have with your baby mum. I'm not saying that we have to be best friends. We're not sleeping together. We're not in that type of relationship anymore. All right, we're not in a relationship in the sense of you need to know where I'm going.
It's a meeting of minds for the best.
We need to have an understanding.
Which is a relationship.
No, but we're still in a relationship because at the end of the day,
you're not in a relationship.
We have to have a relationship.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say to you. So as I said, it's got to be a relationship.
Mutual respect is what I would go with.
You're saying with due respect, but at the end of the day, I need to be able to contact you at important times. She needs to be able to contact me at important times. Okay. All right, so I'm not.
That doesn't equate to a relationship.
No, let me finish though, really. Like,
not me. I didn't say nothing.
I said really. Not
oh, right. I was gonna say.
Jerome Rain is out here,
just freaking feeling the pain. But nah, really, I'm saying
emotional.
To you, at the end of the day, I need to be able to take your call. And as mad as it sounds, if I'm sitting there next to my girlfriend and she's got a baby father and she's turning and saying to herself, and the baby father and the kids with the baby father, for example, at that night, and we're lying next to each other, and then she gets a phone call from the baby father at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Answer it.
Answer the freaking call. Because, and as much as that will burn me to say, why are you answering a call from an ex-man?
Answer it.
Answer the call.
Yeah.
Because it's something with you.
It's something to do with you, then, and I'm sitting there going, don't answer the call because you're sleeping next to me.
Yeah.
Am I done?
But if it's,
I'm just wanting to see how you're doing.
I'm just finishing from the soccer fair.
Brother, tell him to come off the line.
Penny's in the system.
Tell him to come off the line now.
No, tell him to come round to the yard. And you open the door. What, blood?
What with the boxers?
That's different.
I ain't wearing no boxers.
You know?
Yo, some man don't have that kind of confidence.
Yo, well God.
But you get what I'm saying? There are certain things that you still have to have a certain relationship with this woman, all right? Whether it be, I'm not saying it has to be a friendship, but you have to be able to be diplomatic with each other in a certain way at certain times, you know what I mean? Depending on how toxic or how untoxic the relationship is or how it's ended, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like what's been spoken on the podcast, and I'll leave this as a bit of my summary so you don't have to come back round to me.
Bad thing.
All right? Is that when a relationship's done and it's done, all right? So technically, guys shouldn't be going back and saying, let them get peace. But they do. You know what I mean? There are places where even women don't understand to themselves that a guy will always sit there and say, I can check my baby mum. I can. And no matter what you say, call it body confidence, call it whatever you like, all right?
Thanks for giving that approval.
No, bruv, it's whatever confidence you want to give it. It's man them confidence. I'll tell you the truth, bruv.
Oh, body confidence is worse.
No. Let me land, bro. Let me use this is my closing. You have your closing. All right? Sleepy has his closing over there.
I'm over sleeping, bruv. I'm over sleeping, bruv.
I'm talking to you.
I'm over sleeping, bruv. Go on, continue.
talking to me.
Continue. I'm over sleeping, bruv. Go on, continue.
Talking to me.
Continue.
But what I'm trying to say to you here, at the end of the day, all right, it's my closing. So you got to realize yourself, people will have certain feelings about their baby mums, and they will deal with it however they deal with it. And me personally, I say have a relationship with them, and you have to talk. And people will turn and say to themselves, "I'm gonna go back and check my baby mums." It's what happens. There's girls like what's been stated that will turn and say, "Let me go and check my baby father." Why? Because I don't want to up my body count. So if I'm going to sleep with anyone, I'm going to sleep with my baby father. And I've heard that. And I'm like, right,
That's not the only reason, though.
But whatever the reason they're selling to
That part
us,
is irrelevant.
it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying. They say, "Oh, I'm sleeping with my baby father because I don't up my body count." All right.
The body count's not the only reason that they would say
It
that.
might not be. It might be because they want to get back with them. But
No, but it might be because I can.
It might be convenience. It might be convenience,
But then we
yes.
said that
We're
already,
coming
that-
from this narcissistic point
But
of
this is
view.
the point we said earlier
Yeah.
on, that men and women sit there and say, "I can. I believe I could. I can if I want to." Like, I believe. Whether I do it or not is another story, but I believe. And this is where thinking that it doesn't happen, it does happen. What has to happen is that you have to have a relationship for the child, innit? And the relationship you have with the child is what's important. If you can't build that type of relationship, then there's no point having a relationship where it gets narcissistic and it goes to a point where you're trying to get into her pants, or they're trying to get into your pants, or whatever way it's going.
Or it's controlling.
It's controlled.
Really?
And I'll leave it there.
I totally disagree with Buddy.
My thing.
Your summary.
So, no. So, for me, I think it's all about respect. Respect for the person, respect for yourself. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what somebody believes they can do. R. Kelly believed he could fly. I've never seen him jump off a roof anyway. So, for me, it's about having respect for your partner, having respect for yourself,
It's a joke right there.
looking at the relationship you have with your child, looking at the relationship we have with the mother of your child, or mother of children, because you have to remember, we're talking about singular, but there are men out there who have kids with multiple women. So are you saying to me, my man can sit down and go, Monday I might go and check baby mum, number one, Tuesday, and then you then have to give women a little bit of credit that they are not aware that this person is doing this. Now, yes, there are situations which are a little bit confused where the woman believes she can win the person back. That's always wrong. If you believe you can make somebody do something that they've already showed you they don't want to do, or even believing that you can make somebody do something that you want them to do, it's wrong. It's something you shouldn't do. And if you're doing it right now, stop it. I know there's pure man out there that's going to be vexed right now because they're like, yeah, don't mash up my thing. But if you're sleeping with your baby father because you think to yourself, eventually he's going to come back to you when you're giving him girlfriend privileges, which he's not standing up to. So then stop it. This ain't going to work. Yeah, we're talking the truth. This is Buddy's line, but it ain't happening. Now, in regards to, is it women's fault? No, it's everybody in a situation's fault. There are a number of reasons. There's a number of excuses. There's a number of things that can be done to change the situation and make it better for yourself. Do you? Do your child. Do things to improve yesterday to make sure that tomorrow is better than today.
These are too much.
If
Even the producers laughing.
rah. Let's help out Wiley. But
Wiley's cool, bro. Keep talking. Wiley's
Summarize,
cool,
summarize.
bro.
but ultimately, don't do too much.
Keep talking, bro. Keep talking.
No, on a serious note, respect yourself, respect your child. Remember, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're an example for your child. So nothing that you'd want your child to do, you shouldn't be doing as an example for your child. If you've got your baby father walking in through the door at 11 o'clock at night and then leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is the norm, stop it.
Wiley.
Single mothers ain't to blame. Bottom line. That's it. Single mothers ain't
It's
to blame.
not to blame and say, are they at fault?
They're not at fault. It's the relationship breaks down. That's what it comes down to. That's it.
You done? Read.
I'm gonna, because there's 4 more questions that you haven't gone through. So obviously there's gonna be a part 2 to this.
There's 5.
There's 5
We might even
questions.
do part 2 next week.
So when we do the part 2, that's when I'll give my summary. Because I think it's unfair to give a summary on the first 5 questions because they're not actually getting into the meat of the bones.
All right, fair enough. We like that.
Cop out.
It's not cop out.
Sounds like a cop
I
out.
ain't saying the bullshit that you lot say.
Come out.
Man say it's everyone's fault. No, it's one person's fault.
Bumble cop out.
All right, so thank you very much, gents, for your summary. I really appreciate it. And single mothers, are you at fault? I mean, fair enough. It's definitely a trigger title, isn't it? You're gonna get reactions, rightly or wrongly, because when we posted it in the eMpTy podcast group, which you can join on via our Instagram, which is on WhatsApp, but when we posted it out there, one of the responses that came back is, "Wait, what about is it single father's fault?" And I was like, start your podcast and call that single. Do you get what I mean? Leave us to do our thing the way we're doing it, because I'm not turning around here to point the finger. I'm just turning around and saying, do you know what? Here's a mirror.
Look at yourself.
Look at yourself. Or here's a window. Look at someone else. Do you get what I mean? And if you can hold the mirror up in front of you and you're happy, I'm blessed. If you can hold the window up in front of you and you're still happy, I'm blessed. However, if you see whatever you see coming back at you, you're not happy with, it gives you a moment or opportunity to be able to turn around and say to yourself, I need to change what's going on. And that's from the mother's point, the father's point, or the child's point. Yeah? Now, when I read through the survey that came back, some of the responses, especially to the second half of the questioning, where we asked for more of a detailed response about why do men feel like they can act like that towards their children? Why do women think that it's his fault or her fault or the parents' fault or their friend's fault? Why does society put us in a position where we think one misdemeanor and everything's gone? Do you know what I mean? The grass isn't always greener. However, we'll see you next week.
Jerry.
And remember, eMpTy, if the glass isn't half full,
It's empty.